us and allowing us to have an exchange of ideas and views. My name is Laik Rahman. I work for US Petrochemical. We primarily trade and supply petrochemical feedstocks to major producers globally. We have agreements to buy from BP, ExxonMobil, and other majors. Unfortunately, I don't have an advertising slide. My topic today is LPG as petrochemical feedstock. Today, LPG receives the highest premium in the heating and cooking sectors of the market, primarily in homes and businesses. Almost like 50% of the LPG goes into this sector. The second largest market for LPG remains the petrochemical sector at almost half that use. LPG varies, users vary regionally. In China, more than 75% of the LPG is used in the residential commercial sector, whereas the average for Northeast Asia is slightly over 50%. In Middle East, more than 50% of the LPG is used in petrochemical feedstocks. Now, everybody has been talking about shale gas. It is truly a game changer. And I think you need to change your vocabulary. In the past, everybody used to talk about Asia being the future. I think US is back in the game today. Shale gas production in USA is projected to increase from 30% of total production to over 50% by 2040. Around 64% of the feedstock for ethylene in US is now ethane, while naphtha is less than 13%. There has been a lot of talk that shale gas phenomenon is temporary, but according to most of the statistics and information available, US is projected to have a 100-year supply of the excess gas. The above graphs here, one thing is very interesting to note, that in the United States we have separated from liquids to gas to liquids, pricing has been separated. You see in 2008, like when gas was around $14 per MMBTU, and naphtha was around $3 per gallon. And crude oil was over $120 per barrel. Today, natural gas in the United States is around $2.4 per MMBTU. Naphtha is back up to 2.46. And today, crude is hovering around 84. This link has totally disappeared in the United States. Did you see the close link between Saudi CP and crude? And even today, LNG contracts from Qatar are being given out at $20 per MMBTU, whereas in US, our natural gas price is $2.4 per MMBTU. We are indeed in changing times. This is a very interesting and telling slide. It shows the blue areas represent the imports, the red areas represent the exports. US truly has crossed the road from being an importer to an exporter nation. LPG in US, this is a graph giving US LPG versus Saudi CP. US propane in recent times has been between $200 to $500 per metric ton below Saudi CP. In the beginning of this year, when Saudi CP hit 12.30, we were still like at least $500 cheaper. US propane today is the cheapest in the world. And this effect has not been felt globally because US does not, we don't have enough terminals in the United States. nor do the terminals have adequate export trains. In the whole of the United States, we have only one export terminal, which is Enterprise, and they don't even have enough adequate trains. Most of those terminals have been built for imports, not for exports. This infrastructure in US today is still incomplete. There are new pipelines and new terminals to connect shale gas to destination, so the total effect on LPG prices have not yet been totally felt. Another interesting thing is the Panama Canal. Panama Canal is being widened to allow VLGCs to pass through. This will cut short the journey from United States to Asia by 11 days. This will put us almost at par with Middle East as a supplier. Middle East today supplies 83% of the LPG to Asia. As the world becomes technologically more advanced, the demand for chemicals will continue to increase. The liquids today remain the dominant feedstock. In Asia today, petrochemical producers typically switch from naphtha to gas when there's a 90% differential. If the current trend continues globally, with gas being substantially lower than like in the US, the percentage of gas as feedstock will tend to increase. Already gas to liquid plants have started producing in Qatar. The break-even level being $60 per barrel, and the world's largest gas to liquid plant has already been operating for some time in Qatar. With the advent of shale gas, the world has totally entered a new era. And we are totally in an uncharted territory. We still don't know what the final effects would be, because right now there is a differential, as I told earlier, between coal and gas. Coal being about $1 higher per MMBTU over gas. And all the market forces have really not played out their thing, because also the thing of gas to liquids have still to play out its effect. US does have flexi crackers, which allow us to use either as feedstock. In the past, Middle East has been mostly gas. Now, Saudi Aramco has started using more of their LPG in petrochemicals, but their shortfall is going to be overcome by excess production from Qatar and ADNOC. Asia is mostly about 80 to 100% liquid, with the flexibility to use about 20% LPG when the price is right. North America today uses 37% LPG for petrochemical production. Because of higher percentage use of LPG in residential commercial sector, what happens is the outside events, petrochemical producers really don't have much control on the price of LPG, because outside events such as the Japanese nuclear reactor accident, factors like this can immediately increase this supply of LPG prices, which is beyond the control of producers in the worldwide. One of the things that LPG producers can do is to promote LPG use in petrochemical sector would be to link it to naphtha rather than the Saudi CP, which all the producers from Middle East today use, which Qatar, ADNOC, Abu Dhabi, Iran, everybody uses Saudi CP as the pricing benchmark. This is a cracking yield chart on LPG versus naphtha. You see here is ethane, and this one is ethane propane mix. This is propane, and this is like naphtha. And you can see the results. The most profitable one being The green area represents European cracker margins, the blue is the ethane, and the red one is the previous one, which shows the ethane propane mix. As US is switching more to lighter feedstocks like and gas, there is less propylene and butadiene being produced. This will increase the demand for standalone propylene plants and possibly one butadiene plant, because as soon as one goes up, the price of butadiene might start tumbling down. So this one is showing LPG imports into China. You see, like, there's a decline of Chinese imports, but the rest of the new markets of India, Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam have emerged, which keeps propping up the LPG prices for petrochemical use. The Chinese overall demand for LPG has increased, but their imports have decreased. But if you can see, like, Chinese LPG demand is very price sensitive. Right after the 2008 crash, the Chinese demand went up substantially because the LPG prices had fallen sharply after the 2008 financial crisis. Although Chinese imports have declined, they continue to build new terminals, and there's a plan for several PDH plants coming in China. Now, this is an area which separates us from Europe. For a while, the United States has always been lumped by most speakers as Europe and Asia. I mean, Europe and US. Europe is no longer there to be lumped with, US is no longer there to be lumped with Europe, because we are truly entering a new era. The US petrochemical gold rush has truly begun. There is plans for 5 to 7 million metric tons per year additional ethylene capacity in US by 2017. This is even without the addition of Ather. There is several debottlenecking and restarts which will add 2 million ton per annum annual capacity on ethylene. The US petrochemical gold rush is just not isolated to ethylene. It also has several PDH plants planned. And here is methanol. This is one very interesting example where Methanex is physically dismantling the plant in Chile and relocating into Louisiana. And LyondellBasell is also restarting their methanol plant. Also, in the case of butadiene, Texas Petrochemical is also restarting their butadiene plant. This is a world shale gas map. I know you guys have seen it in a previous speaker here. Shale gas is a global phenomenon. See, in Asia, shale gas deposits are in China, middle China, western China, southern Pakistan, southeast Turkey, Australia, and some other locations. Saudi Arabia is not included here, but according to the Saudis, they're going very aggressively in shale gas production. They expect to have shale gas production by 2020. One of the questions that the previous speaker was talking about the higher costs on shale gas production in China. One of the reasons is this locations where the shale gas is located in China, there is scarcity of water, which increases the cost of production, and also it's located in very remote areas. The LNG terminal, which was built in US Gulf Coast to receive LNG supplies, is primarily being used as a re-export facilities. Because all the LNG contracts which were negotiated at very high levels, that material cannot discharge in US because our price is only $2.4 per MMBTU or around. So the modifications to that plant has already started, and it should be completed, projected to be completed by 2015. This is a time when US LNG will also become available to the rest of the world. And if you consider like Qatar supplying LNG at $20 per MMBTU and US natural gas being $2.4 per MMBTU, so when US LNG starts being exported, you can see what effect it will have in the market. Shale gas production has also started affecting other industries. Coal power plants are facing tough financial difficulties because of cheap gas production gas-based power plants in the US. US today is not just cheaper feedstock, but also one of the cheapest energy costs in the world. Today, US power costs in Texas are around 3.5 cents per kilowatt hour versus 10 cents in Thailand, 7 cents in Indonesia, 12 cents in India. According to one Thai producer, they have tried to set up an in-house power generation plant. It cost them 6.5 cents per kilowatt hour, even with the in-house power generation plant. So US is not just competitive as feedstock, but US today has the cheapest energy cost if anybody wants to invest in US plants. So basically, in summary, US is the future for petrochemicals. See, once the infrastructure becomes available, the LPG prices will have to come down to reflect the more competitive natural gas prices. As LPG becomes more competitive, the demand in petrochemical sector should grow. There is a lot of room for LPG to grow in the Asian petrochemical sector, which is very liquid heavy, unlike Middle East or North America. Because of advent of shale gas, today North American LPG, for example, propane is $200 to $500 per metric ton below Saudi CP. With 83% of LPG imported in Asia from US, once the US infrastructure gets completed, there is going to be a lot more LPG from US going to flow into Asia. Saudi petrochemical plants in the past used associated gas and faced challenges when the crude oil production was reduced. And the new ones being planned allow gas liquid as feedstock. They are also planning flexi crackers in Saudi Arabia. Right now, as we have discussed before, it's a little bit too early. Market forces have still not played themselves out, like coal, crude oil, all these different feedstocks will over a period of time have to adjust, and the cost for each, we don't know what it will be until the market forces play themselves out. With this I come to the conclusion. Thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you very much. On the subject of LPG prices, I think I'm